remember you. How'd I know if I didn't care? Got me throwing away everything. My life is such a nightmare. Don't know if I wanna see you dead. Don't know if I wanna hear you cry. I know that I'm a monster, but we all can be one sometimes.
Alright, we're back. I kind of finished the whole thing while I was away, and now it's pretty much all done. For today's video, I'm gonna go over this little list here I made. Also, all the bugs from the previous package, there were quite a lot actually, are fixed in this package. So this is pretty much disregard the entire first part. In this package, you can make a new survivor, you can learn how to import animations. This is what we're going to go over. We're going to learn how to import animations, insert sounds, and replace sounds in the current characters. How to create abilities, how to create hitboxes, how to add status effects, how to make a killer, how to change the chase music of that killer. Also all of this stuff for the killer as well. How to make new skins, how to make new maps, how to change the spawns, how to change lighting, how to make map music, how to do lobby and LMS music, you can add that. And that's what we're going over. Anyway, I made a survivor called JM, and I also made this character called Gert. In order to create a survivor, you need to go to first replicated storage, where you'll find the packets folder. In the packets folder, there is a folder for killers, neutral, and survivors. The neutral folder is just for the lobby. So this character script is just like a run script for the lobby. For the survivors, I'm going to go over JM's character script. He has 3 moves. He has a shoot ability, a melee ability, and a block ability. Each with their own key code, like a keybind. Cooldown times and damage, lock animations, sniper animations, block value, so if blocking is true, then if he gets hit, then it blocks it. Cooldowns, can move, active tool. Active tool is pretty similar, you just can't use your abilities when you have an active tool. These are all the movement animations, so idle, run, and walk, and also injured, idle, run, and walk. You got the module scripts right here. This is the damage event, so if they get hit, it checks if they're blocking, and if they're not, they get taken damage, and it gets divided by if they have weakness or resistance. This is the footstep, basically just place a footstep. Crazy, I know. Start run, end run. Run button for mobile. And here's the ability 1. So ability 1 is just the shoot ability, where it turns off their ability to use abilities, and it turns on their ability 1 cooldown. It unequips the tools that they could be holding at the time, and it sets can run to false, so you cannot be running while shooting. It also changed their normal speed to -5, so it subtracts 5 from their normal speed. Plays the sniper animation, which is in the animation folder right here, the character scripts. It also makes the sniper visible in the model. So this is the default skin, and this is the alternative skin. There's a sniper model in here, which is welded to him. In order to play a sound, I have a remote in replicated storage that plays the sound, and it just plays the sound from the model's torso. So you can change the sound effects, not the torso, the sniper. You could change all these sound effects and it will work perfectly fine. Just make sure they have the same name. As you can see, it takes it from here, so it'll just play the sound effect in the script. And then for the cooldown, it goes to the GUI module to activate the ability 1 and ability 1 cooldown. And then after 1 second, it calculates the bullet. So in order to do this, you need to, I don't know. I just created an attachment that's 500 studs away, so that's the distance of the bullet. That's how far it goes. 2x2 times the distance, and then it creates a hitbox. The hitbox works by basically you give it the C frame or the position C frame, whatever, and the size of the hitbox that you want. Usually I just use attachments to find the C-frame, and then the size, whatever I want. The size is just 2x2, but also with the distance, how long that is. And the position is 500 studs away, but divide by that in order to find the bullet distance, where the part should be for the bullet. And you just put in the C-frame or the position, and then C-frame position, the bullet size, and how long you want the hitbox to last for. So I just have it at 0.125, which is almost just a snap of a finger. It's long enough for you to detect whether a person's inside the hitbox or not. You could crank this up all the way to 2 seconds, meaning that if they enter the hitbox while it's active, then it will count as a hit. But honestly, if you just wanted to flicker just once, if you just wanted to activate just once, then just 1.25. If you want it to last longer, do it as long as you want. If the hitbox is touched, meaning that if like something touched the hitbox, crazy, then it'll check if that person was already hit by the same hitbox, and if it wasn't, then it'll hit them. It also checks if the victim or the person that was hit is equal to the same person that shot the hitbox, so if it is, then it won't hurt them. It also checks if it's friendly fire, so if you're hitting a person on the team of survivors, then it won't do any damage. It only works if they're on the killer's team. Now, if it's hit, it changes to green, and I set the stun time to 4, where it fires a remote event called damage, where it just shows the damage, stun time, the victim, and true just means if it's checking or not. So right now it's checking if the killer can be hit, because there's certain, like, for example, the block on this character, it needs to check if the player is blocking before actually initiating the damage. So this is a checking event. This isn't an actual damage event. The damage event happens if it basically just goes to the victim's client, and then checks on their client if they're all good to be hit. If they're all good to be hit, then they will take the damage and also take the status effects that come with the damage. Easy, I know, right? It just destroys the attachment and then plays the sound of the swing. For ability 2, I created a little force, so it jolts forward a little bit like the guest's punch. And basically this is just an active hitbox. This is a repetitive hitbox. This isn't like a single hitbox like the first attack where it's a single hitbox and it just shoots one bullet. No, this is an active hitbox. There are 15 hitboxes that activate, so it'll constantly be activating hitbox and checking the hitboxes. And if the hitboxes is touched, then it won't hit them again. As you can see, at the size, I just chose 5x5x5. And the attachment world C-frame is the position, and that's just, I think it's just 3 studs away from the player. So 3 studs in front of the player is where the hitbox will be. Same code as the sniper. If it's on the same team, it won't work. And the stun time is 3 for this one. And it's also checking still. And then after which, can run to true, and also intended blocks being +10. Ability 3 is actually pretty simple. You just turn your blocking value to true, unequip tools, make sure that the sniper is visible, because that's what you're using to block, and logistically plays a little sound indication and also gives the player resistance. This is how you use the status effects module. You just want to use call the status module .resist. Make sure it's task.spawn, because you don't want to like wait for the cooldown or how long because basically it goes through the status mod and waits the time, which is 2 seconds. So anything after this code will be 2 seconds after, because this lasts for 2 seconds. So if you don't want the rest of your code to wait 2 seconds, just use a task.spawn in order to just spawn the code instead of waiting afterwards. But yeah, this is resistance. So status mod.resist, 2 seconds, and the amount is 5, so you'll get resistance 5 for 2 seconds. And the cooldown code right here, ability 3 cooldown after the GUI activate ability. This is just a task.wait1. This is how long you're going to block for. And then if you're blocking still, then blocking is false and it stops. And if you are hit while blocking, then it will check that. If you are blocking and you are hit with the remote damage, this is the check event. So if you are blocking then it will do the normal thing. It'll give you speed, I believe. Yes, speed 2 for 3 seconds. So it gives you speed if you hit the block. So, but if you don't hit the block and they hit you without blocking, then you take the normal amount of damage that the killer hit you with. But if you have weakness or resistance, then it will... If you have weakness, then it divides or multiplies the damage by the weakness value that you have. And if you have resistance, then it'll just divide the damage by the resistance value you have. Normally, default, you wouldn't have any resistance or weakness unless you have the status effect. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all for this character. Make sure that you have all your abilities for mobile support too, for the mouse button click. So if you just click it on mobile, then it'll do the ability anyway. Also, your start run should be here, and for each ability, it should have the ability 1 code. Ability 2 code, ability 3 code for each ability function. Ability or input ended, that's just for end run. Start run, end run. Walking backwards, so if you're walking backwards, you go slower. If you're shift locked. If you landed, you go slower for a little bit. This is attended walk speed. This is just the tween for the walk speed. Like, it doesn't like instantly make you tween to like you don't like instantly go to running speed when you press shift. You slowly go there over the course of 0.25 seconds. It's just a little bit. Stamina right here. Health bars. Can move. Animation code. Arms first person. For most characters you won't need this because they already have that in the client script. This is just specifically for the sniper because you want to see the sniper in first person if you want to. So if you are in first person, the sniper will be visible. And this is also for the footsteps. This is very important. In the animation, we'll go over this later, but in the animations, we use animation events in order to calculate where the footsteps will be in the length of the animation, but I'll get to that later. If you want to change any of the stats of any character, I made a bunch of attributes, basically just making it much simpler to change any of the statistics of the character. You could change health, run speed, stamina gain speed, stamina loss speed, walk speed, all very easy changeable if you just look in the character script under attributes. Wow, that's just a basic of a survivor. It's just a basic. How to make a new survivor? Sure. I'll just show you how to make a new one real quick. I'll make a quick one. I'll make a quick one. Here, let me get a model real quick. Make sure that when making a character, if you don't have like a system where they can like see the character's name, you want to make sure that the display distance is viewer, so that they can actually see their name and health. Make sure that the humanoid part isn't anchored so that they can actually move. Other than that, you can just do it like that. Perfect. Now I have a new character. Name it default, because that's the default skin. We'll get into skins later. Default. First we need to make sure that it has its own folder. So let's name it Cheddar. And just put it in there. We can delete the other one. Boom. Cheddar now has a character. Boom. His character name is not Kirk. That's a different character I made. Health, let's make it 100, just a stable 100. Run speed, let's not make it 30. Let's make him super slow. You know what? Let's make it like, no, that's 2%. Let's make it 26. 26 at basic. Stamina, also 100, something like that. Stamina gain, let's make it 20. Stamina loss, 10. Walk speed, 6. No, not 16, 12. This is a basic character. His moves are the same as perks, which I made. Basically, just a fast move, an invisible move, and a snap move. If you want to make your own moves, it'll make you how to it'll cost you to learn how to code, unfortunately. But I made it pretty simple in order to create abilities, like new ability UI. You just need to plug in the ability name and the decal that you want for it to show up on the character's screen, and the key code that is used to activate it. Damage, normal. Footstep, normal. Start run, end run. Run button, mobile. Ability 1, it just gives them speed and then slowness after the speed ends. And it also gives them resistance. It also plays a little sound effect that's in their torso, but he's not in here. I gotta add a sound effect called speed in his torso. This is how you get a sound effect. We'll get a speed sound effect. Boom. Put that in the torso, put a sound in the torso, and, you know, name it like speed. That's how you make a new sound. Anyway, for ability 2 code, it just gives them invisibility for 5 seconds and invisibility 4. So unlike Forsaken, I combined invisibility and undetectability. So if you're invisible, you're also undetectable. Honestly, I don't really get why they didn't combine them, because they should have. Because every single time you're invisible, you're also undetectable, and you're not really undetectable ever without being invisible. So if you're invisible, it also means you're undetectable. Weakness, it gives you weakness while you're invincible for a while. And it plays the ghost sound effect in the torso. There isn't one right now, because it's in perk. This is the same code as perk. Boom. Yeah, ability 3 code just gives the killer helpless. So it'll give them helpless for 5 seconds while the character gets slowness and weakness. So it's pretty good for support. And you know, it's just the normal keybinds, ability 1, 2, 3, just activate with the keybinds. Walking backwards, you know, stamina, you know, animation, pretty easy. So that's how you really like make a new character if you want to. It's requires some coding knowledge, but you could just kind of work off the ones I've made for this game. I've made 2, and my buddy made 1, which you won't have access to because it's an admin character and it's kind of complex. But you might be able to play it if this game gets published. So for the animations, especially the run and the walk, I also made a medkit animation for the medkit item, and that's the block animation, Bloxy Cola equip animation, Bloxy idle animation, Bloxy activate animation. Those are all the Bloxy animations. You just need to make one thing straight. If you don't have Moon Animator, by the way, you can also use Animation Editor. It's the same way. You just do that. Same thing, pretty much. It's just much easier on Moon Animator. But you need to make sure you do one thing, and that's animation events. On Moon Animator, it looks something like this, where every like half of the animation, I place an animation event called Footstep. Basically, once this animation event happens, it'll play a footstep sound during the animation. So it'll just calculate when they place their foot on the ground. Not really. I mean, if you want to put the animation event there when they place their foot on the ground, sure, but it's kind of uneven. But I just like to put it like every halfway through, and every time it like goes through this animation event, it plays the footstep sound. And in the script, it just checks if it's a grass sound or if it's a ground sound. How to create a new animation event on Moon Animator? It looks like this. Hold on. Run. To create a new animation event, use click events, click the plus, and then you can name it Footstep right here. Footstep. Okay, so now he has 3 footsteps in this animation, which makes no sense, so I'm going to delete it. On Animation Editor, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different on the Animation Editor, but it should be the same. An animation event looks like these little squares. So you see how this is like a diamond and this is a square. The square is the animation event. So in order to create a new animation event, you just right click there, and then you click Add Animation Event here. Or you could, yeah, do that. Add event, footstep. No parameters. Same. See that? Now there's an animation event called footstep. It looks a little bit different on Moon, because, I don't know, it's a square on Moon, but this is how it'll work on animation editor. There should be a little thing here, and you can edit the animation event. Make sure it is named footstep, though, if you want it to play a footstep sound. I'm going to delete it, though, because I don't want 3 footsteps. Alright, that's how you do the animations, and to import the animation, basically what you need to do, for Moon Animator, you just go to the animation, click Run, or whatever animation you want to export. run. There. Okay. Whatever animation you want to export, file, export rigs, right-click on the animation that's highlighted, save to Roblox. I saved it under me because I made the game under my profile, but if you have a group, you want to make sure to save it under that group. You click save, and then you copy this ID, and then under the character you want to edit, I'm just going to use JM. In the character script, there's a folder called animations, and you can just change any of these animations or add any or remove any. If you remove any, they might break though. For the animation editor, to export animations, it's different a little bit. Here, I'll open up the run animation again. Here's the run animation for JM. I'm just going to click publish to Roblox, that's how you do it. You just click publish to Roblox, and boom, it's automatically there. Is this a model? No, it's not. It's an animation. And boom. Now you can do the same thing and just put it in the animations folder under the animation that you want to put it as. Boom. Done. Animation's done. Okay, we're done with animation. Boom. This whole thing's done. How to make a new killer. Pretty simple. You could just duplicate the killer that I already made, which is Gert. You can edit him. You just need to go to the killers folder, duplicate it, name it whatever you want. His name is you can give him skins. I'll go over skins later, but basically all you need to do in order to change the music, it's the same coding as any other survivor. The only difference is that they have a stun, because survivors don't have a stun. So if they are damaged, then it will stun time. It has a stun time, and if they're stunned, then it'll play a stun animation. It'll also give them a 5-second stun cooldown, so they get like iframes for 5 seconds. The stun animation can be found in character script under animation. All the animations are there. It's got the same stats in the character script. You can change the health, run speed, walk speed, whatever. And in order to change the chase music, you just need to find the sound called music inside the model and just change that ID. Right now I just have it as some Roblox copyright music. In order to make new skins, it's actually really easy. This is actually one of the easiest parts of it. If you just want to make a new skin, here I'll make an alternative Perk skin. Take the original model. This is Perk. He's really cool. And I think I'm just gonna make it like a red version of Perk. So take a skin, name it a different name other than default, because you don't want this to be the default skin. I'm just gonna change everything to red. So, all right, now we have an alternative Perk skin. Boom. Now we can just put that in the same folder next to default, and boom. Now you can switch skins with these things. You can also switch characters with these things. I haven't made a menu for it. I don't think I am gonna make a menu for it, but these things will be able to change your character. But yeah, that's how you add a new skin. Make sure it's a different name. You can change the sounds in the skin too. Like you see how it has the sounds here. You can change the sound for each skin. Yeah. Alright, how to make a new map. Right now I have like 3 maps. All of them are from the toolbox, but the maps can be found in server storage under the folder maps. I'm just gonna use Sword Fight on the Heights. I didn't make it. I edited the Sword Fight on the Heights map to fit like a Forsaken type game, but basically you could just use any map. It doesn't matter. Any map will work as long as like if it works, if it fits, if the physics fit. The map like actually you can run around because you can't jump in Forsaken, so you got to make sure that you can get around the map. But all you really need to know is how to place spawns. If you want to place an item spawn, just name it item. Name a part called item and put it where you want to put the item to spawn. It's a randomly spawning item, so a Bloxy or a medkit could spawn here, or nothing. It's random. So nothing could spawn here, or a Bloxy or a medkit. This is where a survivor will spawn. Make sure it's called survivor and put into the spawns folder in the map. Yeah, basically for the killer too, name it killer, name a part called killer, name it killer. Make sure all these parts are anchored, because you don't want it not to be anchored. Trust me, you don't want it not to be anchored. But yeah, killer spawn, name it killer, just a part, boom, put it where you want to put the killer spawn. Same with survivors and same with items, no difference. And when the map loads, so will the items. And also these blocks will disappear when the map loads. To change the map ambience, like the map music, you just want to click music under the map. Make sure that you have a sound in your map. And you can change it to whatever you want. Lighting, basically just have a folder called lighting in your map and change it to whatever lighting you want. This will basically like change the game lighting to whatever's in this lighting folder to fit your map. It's really simple, really simple. Yeah, so lighting folder changes the lighting of the game to the map. The music just changes the music to the map music. Spawns just goes with the spawn. This log folder is just for log parts, it doesn't matter what that is. Same thing for racetrack, which is another toolbox spawn. Lighting, music, and spawns. Same with Yorick's resting place. This one has an acid script, so it has a poison script in it, just like Yorick's resting place in Forsaken. As you can see, if they touch this purple goop, it has a folder for it. If they touch this acid, which I put in a group called acids, if they touch it, it'll play this acid script and give them the effect of poison for 2 seconds, just poisoning one. Not too bad, and it'll wait 2 seconds before removing it, and also removing them from the hit list, which is checked when if they touched the acid. Yeah, that's how you make maps. Next up, just lobby and LMS. We saw spawns, lighting, and map music. Now we just gotta change the lobby music and the LMS music. In order to change the lobby music, basically all you need to do is just go to the lobby music sound in Workspace, and just change the ID there. You can change any other settings besides looped. I mean, if you want to not loop it, then it's fine. Last man standing, same thing. It'll play if there's only one survivor left, and it'll just play this sound. You can change it. But yeah, that's it. That's really how it works. I'll probably publish this game so you guys can play it, but I'll also publish a package where you can copy it and then change it to your heart's content. I also added this obby here just for the lobby. Hoogaff, you know. But yeah, I'll show off how to change characters. This is how you change characters in the game. Right now I'm single player, so it won't start the game, but if you want to change characters, you just go over to this change character proximity prompt, and you can just press F and it'll change the character. Boom. Easy. And if you want to change skins, it'll just change skins for you to the one next to it. Same for killers. And skins. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I probably won't make a third part.